My promise in this video is very simple. I'm going to share with you 100% why you are stuck in your business at a certain level, whether that's been like that for months, for some even years, and how to break through that and what's actually keeping you stuck, rather than considering this marketing, that marketing angle. I've tried it all. This is a scam. I'm going to share with you what's really going on beneath the hood here as to why this is happening. So stick to the end of this video. As a marketing and a business growth implementation company, over the past 10 years, we've conducted on average around 8,000 consultations every year, and we've helped thousands of business owners. So in doing that many, patterns emerge. We clearly see why are the ones stuck versus the ones that are actually having success. So let me go through these slides and video and explain why you may be stuck in certain areas in your business and perhaps even in your life. And that's my promise. If you stick to the end, you'll get the answers that you may have been seeking. Here's the thing. There's a saying, you don't know what you don't know. And in marketing, we call this problem unaware. So sometimes when we're stuck in life or in business, sometimes we feel like we're searching for the answers and we feel like there's an answer out there, but we don't know what it is. And if we're unaware of what the problem might be in business, well, how do you fix it if you don't know what to fix? So first of all, you have to understand there are levels to the game. So what does it mean for you and why you're possibly stuck? There is the psychology of change. It's really important to just briefly talk about this and why it's so hard to succeed in anything. And as I said, my promise is that you will know why you're stuck and what to do to finally grow your business and other areas of your life through this video. What got you here won't get you there. So quite often we have a business owner that's been doing all the right things and they've got their business to a certain level by taking certain actions in a certain way of thinking, a certain perspective, and that got them to where they're at. But in order to get to that next level, we can't keep doing the same thing. Nothing changes, right? And we have to recognize there are levels to being a boss. You might be stuck on level 1, you might be stuck on level 3, and you're trying to get to level 7. And the challenge is, what perspective, what thinking, what knowledge do you need in order to get there? Because if you keep repeating the same steps over and over, you know there's a well-worn quote here: insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And we've all heard that quote before. It really hits me hard every time, right? In marketing, we call this being problem unaware. Now, if you use phrases, which I hear quite often from business owners, like, I'll figure it out, it's that they're trading on hope. They don't have a game plan, but they're just sort of looking at figuring it out through hope, which is also a very dangerous drug called hopium, right? Hope marketing. So for you, it means you have to understand there are levels of competence or skill sets, right? And level 1 is unconscious optimism, right? And also there's this level of unconscious incompetence, right? Let me explain. There are 4 levels. There is, and stick with me, this will all make sense, I promise. There are 4 levels of competence or skill set. There is unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competence. I use a very simple example so it makes perfect sense. When you first learn how to drive a car, or you're going to learn how to drive a car, you're at unconscious incompetence. In other words, you don't know what you don't know. I'm just going to jump in the car. Then when you jump in the car and you start to learn, you're trying to steer, change the gears if you're using stick, and you become conscious of the fact that you're incompetent at this. And more dangerously, you start to understand when you start taking some actions in it, you become more aware about all the things you don't know, right? Then slowly when you learn to drive a car, you move into conscious competence. That's when you can drive a car. And you may remember when you drive a car and you're kind of thinking, I know how to drive, but I still have to very much think about it. It's very conscious. Can't talk too much, can't be distracted, got to think about all the things I need to do. And eventually we enter the stage of unconscious incompetence. That's when you can lean back, you can drive a car, you can talk to your friends, and you're doing all the things unconsciously, right? And so oftentimes with a business owner, when they want to go from level 5 or level 3 to level 6 or 7, they're at unconscious incompetence. They don't even know what to look for because they've never done it. You don't have the perspective of hindsight, which is very, very difficult. And so what that means for you, maybe you've tried ads, or you've tried agencies, you called leads, they didn't answer, leads were no good. You start to think, is this a scam? What's going on? And what I can share with you is that ego, especially for men, and I've been there, ego is not your friend, because ego is the roadblock, right? So now you're at level 1, unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. And how can you fix something if you don't actually know what's wrong? This is what I want to kind of get out of in this video, to kind of talk about the levels, and in awesome preparation for our strategy call, to make sure when you show up, we can truly provide value regardless of whether we do business together or not. I want to make sure you walk away with incredible value that we actually make you now more aware of maybe the issues or challenges or problems of what you need for your business to go from here to go to there, and what that looks like. So quite often, people are stuck in business, but also in life. They're stuck in a 3-phase failure loop, right? The first thing you hit in this 3-part phase is new opportunities arise, right? Maybe it's a new lead source, maybe it's a new marketing agency, maybe it's a new ad training, or whatever else. The thing is, when that happens, usually, when a new opportunity arises, right, you're at uninformed optimism. You're excited. This could be it, right? But it's an uninformed optimism because maybe you don't even know the depth of what's involved in this new road you've taken. And so what happens is, we are in this first phase really excited, uninformed optimism. Whether we start wanting to lose weight or something else, we go to the gym for the first time, we're just really excited when we do something new. You want to learn how to play tennis, we turn up all excited, right? But then what happens is we hit stage number 2, right? And we've gone through all this new biz op, we're all excited, and now the second stage is informed pessimism. So what happens here is that this is when we start to realize we're learning this new opportunity. We discover what we don't know. Maybe we don't have the skill set yet for what we've just dove into. There's maybe more work involved than we anticipated. It's new. It starts to feel uncomfortable. Discomfort starts to come in. The brain starts to go, I don't want to do this. This is overwhelming. I don't want to do it. So now that new shiny object, that uninformed optimism starts to wear off. Maybe this is not what I need to do. Your brain starts to play tricks, and you're thinking about trying something new, right? You've tried it. It's not working. It's not quite gelling. And you kind of also incompetence. You've gone from unconscious incompetence to now conscious incompetence. You're now realizing, oh my God, there's so much I don't know. This is too hard. And all this stuff starts to creep in, like a lot of doubt. And here's the rub. Every successful person that you ever see that's doing millions of dollars, they've gone through those same emotions and the same feelings. The only difference is they accepted that's part of the process, and they've just leaned into more learning and become aware of the emotions. In this video, I want to make you aware that this is quite normal, what's happening, right, for a lot of people, because no one is born with the skills, right? They are learned. And usually discomfort comes with it, right? It's like your first day at school. If you just understand that you're going to get uncomfortable in doing something new, whether you're working with a new marketing agency or something else, there's a lot to learn. So what happens, the 3-phase failure loop, the last stage most people enter is what's called the valley of despair. This is when you start to get really intrusive thoughts about, I can't do this. This is wrong. This is another waste. Who was I kidding? I'm not good enough. The world's against me. I've been scammed, and on and on. And if you let that get to you, which is very normal, what happens is you start to go back to stage 1, a new opportunity. And so out of the 5 stages of success, most people in business and in life are stuck on the first 3 stages of that failure loop. Go somewhere new. I'm all excited. This is it. They go in. They get informed pessimism. Hang on a second. This is not what I thought. There's actually work. There's more. Maybe it's not right. And then we go into the valley of despair, which is quite depressing. And this is like, this is not working. Our brain just tells us all the wrong things. And sometimes we just have to understand to stay in that discomfort, right? That discomfort is about getting that breakthrough. And so we finally repeat cycles 1 to 3. But here's what it looks like in terms of staying in that valley of despair, leaning into the experience. And for anyone that kind of works with us, we also not just put things in place, we coach and guide and make sure that the learnings are there to get through that, to become to informed optimism. This is when you start to get tiny breakthroughs. Oh, this is working. I'm making an iteration here, iteration there, a little pivot there, right? Because you either win or learn. And this is how you get to being successful. It's no different when you learn how to drive a car. You probably made some mistakes, you stalled the car, whatever, but you kind of know there is a success path. And if you understand this, this is the reason why people aren't successful in losing weight. They go from a keto diet to a high carb diet to a high fat diet to a high protein diet, because they never actually stick through long enough to get the learnings, to adapt their brain to something new and kind of get there. And so you have to have that awareness. And this video, the first thing I want to draw is your attention, your awareness to what may be going on. You have to be open to learning. You have to be patient. You've got to be okay with being uncomfortable, which brings us now to you, right? What got you here won't get you there. And so the solution is to push through, to recognize success is hard work. Very cliche, but it is. You just got to keep at it. It's worth it though. If you want to get your business from 100,000 a month or 50,000 a month, or let's say you're 20,000 a month, and you want to go to 100,000 a month profits or 200,000 a month, it's worth it to put in that effort, to embrace the new learning. So remember when you learned to drive a car, it was the same way. Babies take a year. They don't give up after a month and goes, oh, can't even crawl, forget about it. I'm going to try something else. There is no other way. It is only way to success. So my question, I guess, now is, knowing this, are you open to learning? Because if you want our help, possibly, you have to be willing to go into discomfort or outside your comfort zone. You have to be willing to do things differently than maybe you have been doing. Because if you're coming to us as potential help and you just want to do things the way you've always done them, you're probably going to get the results you've always gotten, right? So, but let's find out together. Below, you'll see a business audit. It won't take a few minutes. Keep an open mind. Don't judge the questions. Just answer them honestly, right? This is going to prepare us for a meaningful conversation we can have about your business, marketing, sales, and operations. And then from there, right, either me or my team can formulate within that meeting a successful demo, what it would look like to go from here to there, and to also make you more aware about all the things you maybe haven't considered or thought about, right? It only takes a few minutes. It's really important. We want to make sure there's some awareness, maybe what's missing in your business that goes beyond just getting a bunch of names or leads in relation to your systems and processes. It will set us up for a very meaningful meeting so we can promise to give you a huge amount of value regardless of what the next steps may or may not be. And we'll promise we'll be able to come away and give you a game plan.